I've been on a roller coaster this year. I'm a huge 76ers fan. Been one all my entire life.
What's the roller coaster?
Shout out to AI. Because when we first started the MVP talks, you know, I was saying it was a very tight. Maybe you give the lean to Jokic at the time. Remember when we first started?
Okay, yeah.
And then you go up and down, and then Giannis comes, and B comes, and Jokic comes back. And now I'm to the point where it's Embiid, and it's just like landslide. Like he should win number one. Like for example, like I know Greek as the difference between the three is number one between Embiid and Jokic. And just talking about MVP, not game versus game. But the difference is now that Jokic has sat out a few games, you have the one matchup that they did play. Embiid destroyed Jokic. The records are eerily similar. I'm pretty sure they have the exact same record right now, team record. All right. And Embiid is, if you want to, if anything, they're similar offensive players. One just, you know, you got different categories. One is better than the other. Yeah. But Embiid is a vastly superior defensive player. He's a top 5 defender in the league, period, of any position. Okay? Now, between Embiid and Giannis, who Giannis has come on late, he's come on heavy. The difference is when you talk about the valuable piece, he has Giannis has an all-star teammate. Joel Embiid doesn't have an all-star teammate. And I made this argument last night to some guy on my IG, and it was like, well, Harden leading league in assists. Well, first of all, Harden's missed a ton of games, but not only that, the Eastern Conference had 2 all-star replacements. If you remember, he didn't even make the all-star replacements twice. So he's not an all-star.
He got looked over twice?
He got looked over twice. So he's not an all-star in any metric.
Right.
And J. Rue was having a fucking phenomenal year. And Brook Lopez is going to be, if not the defensive player of the year, I'm pretty sure I would bet my money he's going to be defensive player of the year.
Really?
But if not, he's going to finish second and at worst third if the voters are racist. All right. So yes, all right. So he's going to finish top 3 in defensive player of the year. That so valuable. And also, Giannis has missed more games than Embiid or Jokic. For example, Giannis is out tonight, all right, and he's probably going to miss the majority of the games. Yeah, I just got a notification that AD and LeBron tonight. So, and that's the roller coaster I've been on. Now, the team, Philadelphia in itself, I've been really on a roller coaster because I don't like this team.
This one?
Yeah, I don't like this team, and it's oddly not for the reasons why in the past. Like Doc Rivers is okay. If we lose or flame out, it's not Doc Rivers' fault. I can't even blame him. He's actually having a decent coaching.
Well, you're not up 3-1 yet.
I know, right? And Daryl Morey, our GM, he was handed a shit hand. If anybody ever been playing spades or tunk, and you sit down and somebody has to leave and you take over their hand, and you like, God damn it.
Right.
And that's the hand that Daryl Morey was handed. So I can't blame him for the lack of building this team better this soon because he was handed a terrible, god-awful hand.
Right.
And he did get off of Ben Simmons, and he fleeced the Brooklyn Nets.
Oh, yeah, that was wow.
Nana Boo-Boo, Brooklyn. But this team is shit. Tobias Harris is shit. Tyrese Maxey is up and down. He'll score 40 one night, then he'll score 6 points the rest of the fucking season. Yeah. He's very up and down. The role players are shit. It's just a shit team. And Joel Embiid this is the best I've ever seen him. He's the best player on the planet. To pull this team to fucking 3rd seed in the East is a fucking miracle beyond Jesus. Anything he's ever done. It's ridiculous.
Okay, so like. I feel like you talking as like a 76er fan, right? Like
you've seen this guy before.
Right. It's like I'm a Magic fan, right? And
my condolences.
Listen. Paulo is that guy. But like when you talk about like your role players, right? And I'm looking at like Tobias Harris, like he's a good role player, but I felt like y'all held on to him for a little bit too long when it came to like y'all's team. Like, and y'all gave him a lot of money too, and like he was our old player, you know what I mean? So like not a boo boo to y'all because y'all got him now. But it's just like it's just crazy like hearing like other people like gripe about their team, and it's just like your team is good, like your team is 3rd.
Our team is good because of Embiid,
right? And like I don't think y'all have enough to win it, and like y'all need Harden to be Harden of Houston for y'all to win it.
He's not that anymore.
Exactly.
And I'm okay with that. Notice I didn't say Harden was shit. I didn't say that.
Right.
I think Harden has done an awesome job of knowing I'm not that
Yeah.
scorer
Yeah,
anymore.
I love that
I'm
about
gonna
him.
change my game, and he's a pure point guard. He's
Right.
leading the league in assists when he is out there. He's assisting the ball. He's not looking to score. He doesn't have a burst. He knows what he doesn't have
Yeah.
and what he does.
He's very
have.
conscious of what's going on
He's
around.
very
him.
conscious. He's not Carmelo. He's
He
not
left
these
that
other
burst in
guys.
the champagne room of Houston strip club. Never to be seen
Yeah.
again.
You know, so that's what's up. What you think, Pink?
I agree with you. It's a fragile, vulnerable team, but that almost heightens the Embiid MVP candidacy.
Mm-hmm.
And I do think with Jokic missing some games and Denver in general struggling down the stretch, it's Embiid's, man.
They couldn't give it to Jokic again. Like no matter what Jokic did, because it's like then you put like basically what y'all saying is he's Larry Bird. He's
Well, we had that discussion a couple
Yeah.
weeks back when it felt like he was closer to
Yeah.
winning it.
Yeah.
You know, they were first in the West. I mean, they're still first in the West, but they were kind of rolling along, and his individual stats were as good as they had been, and he wasn't missing games. And you're like, well, damn, it's hard to give it to anybody
Right.
else, but just fundamentally,
you cannot give him that third.
in your soul,
Yeah.
that was the
And I feel
objection.
like that's part of the problem too when it comes to the MVP voting, because I feel like they also think about that type of stuff too. Like for example, like Michael Jordan should have more, LeBron should have more, Kobe should have more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's the tough thing about awards in the NBA because I want to see that change. I think it should go season by season. I don't think you should think of it in a legacy term. What this guy did in the
Right.
playoffs. What does this mean if this guy's win 3 or 4 in a row? I don't think you should look at it that way. The problem is they looked at it that way in the past. So
Yep.
and that's the issue.
Exactly, and they have to continue.
They have to.
Because then, like you think about it, like they gave Nash that one over what was it, Shaq?
Yeah. They gave Barkley one over Jordan, but the Nash one is the one that's
Yeah.
talked about a lot more.
But the problem is there's no concrete criteria to do this.
that's also
Nah, facts.
And so you're looking and you're making these arguments and saying, well, you know, what are we looking at? What are what
Yeah, what are we
valuing?
gauging it off of?
Yeah, and it's tough with that, you know.
yeah.
I mean, I'm happy that the new collective bargaining agreement. Two things: I'm happy they made a new collective bargaining agreement without a holdout or strike or lockout.
The players now aren't like that. They want their money and,
Yeah.
and they probably want to get it done quick.
Yeah, for sure. But apparently they have put in some like game minimum stuff
65.
I got you,
to be a candidate for these awards, which
we
is
can transition to
significant.
that, right? Because and Draymond Green talked about it on his show there. So the All NBA, yeah, you gotta now you have to play at least 65 games. But what Draymond says is, for the All NBA awards, everyone will appreciate this like Pink until you got bums on the All NBA team. So he doesn't like the new rule where you have to play at least 65 games.
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of like I feel like they're what they're trying to do is try to like make sure players play, but like what they don't realize is a lot of times players be hurt. Like you know what I mean? Like sometimes players really are hurt, but it's like I feel like the situation with Kawhi when he was at San Antonio, like I feel like that whole situation kind of like opened people's eyes up because like San Antonio's been doing this for years, dog. Like how many times back in the day Popovich be like, "Oh, we ain't bringing Tony, we ain't bringing Tim, Manu sitting."
Well, like I mean, I guess my thing with the load management is the Spurs were a team that had this aging core of guys,
Right.
and they kind of felt like, hey, for us to maximize and be at our best in the playoffs, this is how we need to proceed. But then that seeped in partly because they were successful doing it to the point that like it's now the standard operating procedure of teams.
Yeah.
And you're resting 24-year-old guys, like on load management. The only loads they should be managing are the ones they shoot at the hose.
Yeah, and it's one of them things, dog, that like it's already like you said seeped into the culture, and like they've already got a taste of like, oh, I don't have to play tonight if I don't want to, and I still get paid. Man,
Yeah.
Nah, that's true. And then the other thing he's saying about the new CBA rules, that the Warriors would be the NBA's last dynasty because of the new CBA rules. They're putting in more stipulations. Basically, they're going to cancel out dynasties, right? Because they're putting in more stipulation as far as on the NBA's salary cap.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so your team it gets penalized to a degree that you just can't retain your best players, no matter if you draft them
that
or
I hate.
That's dumb.
That I hate.
Yeah.
I like dynasties. I think dynasties are good
especially
for
if you
the
earned
sport.
it. Like,
Yeah.
if a team earned it, how the hell you just gonna be like, oh, y'all won too much, or oh, y'all been together too long, now I got to split up. That don't make sense.
Yeah.
Because then it's like, okay, so now everybody that talk shit about the players that left, like, now what are y'all gonna say? Because now y'all don't put it into the agreement that they gotta leave.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Now you're forcing player movement.
It doesn't like it's just like, to me, that doesn't really. I didn't know that part.
Yeah, I didn't
that's
know
crazy.
that.
I wanted to read the exact part that he's saying. League cracking down on big spenders like the Warriors. Teams more than $17.5 million over the luxury tax will lose the following roster moves. Taxpayer, the mid-level exception, right? So if you're over that much, there's like 6 teams that are currently over that. They wouldn't be able to bring in a mid-level exception, which all those teams take advantage of, right? You won't be able to utilize cash in trades. You can't move first-round picks in drafts that are 7 years away. Signing free agent players in the buyout market is over, and taking on more money than is being sent out in trade. So yeah, those are huge changes.
Yeah, I don't like
especially
any
for
of those
those
changes.
for those big
I don't like any of those
for those
changes.
teams that are maxed out.
It just seems like people trying to stick their hands in places where it don't belong. Because it's like these people done spent hours of time, I'm sure, scouting these players.
Yeah.
They spend hours of time like not creating them, but like helping them get to where they are now. And then now you're saying, oh, because we've won a lot. What they probably trying to do is, like, if anything, they can just like bring down the amount of money they make. But like that, I know the players don't want to do that.
And one bad contract can screw this shit. Like,
For
after this new
years.
rule, if we do another Tobias Harris, you're over with. One max player that shouldn't be a max player, or that's far away from a max player, like Tobias, your team is screwed with these
Right,
new rules.
right. No,
You
that's
have to get
terrible.
it right now.
Yeah.
There's more pressure on you to get it right, which more players might be upset because they might not be getting these bigger contracts than they be getting, because teams can kind of like take a
that
chance.
third tier guy.
Yeah, the third tier
who might slide up to a max like a Tobias Harris. Probably that market's going to be gone for a player of that caliber.
Right.
Yeah, and that's true. That's true. No, I do not like any rule. I hated the luxury tax. I thought that was
In
stupid.
the beginning, but teams could still finagle around that, and
Yeah, but it
afterwards.
still
now
makes
it's-
it, like, again, if a team does a good job identifying players,
drafting.
drafting players,
Yep.
developing players,
Like the
let
Warriors,
them
yeah.
reap the reward of that.
Right.
Yeah.
So
But-
then it's like okay, so like basically what you're saying is like you want the league to be fair. Like what in
When
life
life
is
ain't
fair?
fair.
Like what's fair?
It's not. Yeah.
The people who are better
Are
should
better.
do better.
Exactly. And that's just
You know what I mean?
how everything in life goes. So like the fact that they sticking their hand in places they don't belong, like honestly, like I saw people talking about making another league, like another like NBA type league, but like ran by people that of color, so that way like they don't have to worry about as much of the other like bullshit that they be worrying about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like just stuff that like I seen that was out there. Like I don't know if it's actually gonna happen.
And I like putting the pressure on bad GMs. There's so many bad front
terrible.
offices. They
Terrible.
probably have played a part in these new rules.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's only penalizing good front offices, you know, which is only a couple of those to begin with.
Yeah.
Right.
Chuck says, "Pink, that was a bar." I don't know what you said.
I'm talking about the shooting the
The loads.
Oh. That was a bar. Eric Kobe says, when did Kendrick Perkins get a vote? Let the
I
players
know.
vote.
When did Kendrick Perkins get a vote? That was so random because he makes sure he let everybody know he got a vote too.
Yeah.
He be letting make sure.
Kobe says the Warriors only have one true All-Star. Maybe this year that's true, but
Yeah.
you know, over the course, if you're talking legacy, Clay is definitely been
Yeah.
an All-Star, and so has Draymond in his prime of prime.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely not that now, but yeah. All right, yeah, that was a good. Where is this mouse? What did I do? What? Oh, it's over here. I don't need it though. Hopefully, I won't.
But you're worried about it.
Once again, you